Hello, good morning, guys. Welcome to AWS Cloud with Asim. Today we are starting our course, right? That course will be cover up with the DevOps tools, covering everything. This is the day one, and you can join using the link which will be provided in the description, right? Our YouTube, our WhatsApp channel link. Okay, you can register over there, and you can join the live session. Will be recorded in the morning, Indian 6 to 7. Right, this is the day one. So let's start with the day one. As we discuss about that, today's we will be discussing about the introduction of DevOps, right? What do you call DevOps, and what's the history behind that? And we will be covering about software development cycle, right? The how it's going to be in the real time scenario, and we will see all the aspects related to that. Okay, so let's go and check it out. So if you check it over here, if you go for my PPT, then for this course, as we discussed before, also I'm mentioning again, we don't require any previous requisition, because we will be covering in this tutorial itself all the things. So if you don't have any DevOps engineer information also, don't worry, we will be covering from the zero, right, to the end as an expert, right? If it is you're a fresher, you can see a career out of the DevOps, you can switch to the DevOps, right? So this is a better option for as if for the freshers as well. Okay, if you don't have the IT experience, don't worry about that. If you don't have the basic Linux operating system information also, you don't worry about the knowledge. We will give you from the scratch completely, right? You can gain hand-on experience on the Linux. Okay, you don't require any program language, because for the DevOps it does not require any program language perfectly, but you should have some of the basics structure of the programming which your application will be hosting, right, using. So that I will be covering in this in all this course, so don't worry about that. Also, if you check it on the any LinkedIn profile and everywhere, you will be finding DevOps jobs as frequently listed, right? So aspect to that, whatever the listing description responsibility will be covering in this core, everything, right? And if you check it in the abroad listing also, right, if you go for any remote listing websites, you will be finding DevOps as a one of the listing most jobs in that domain, right? So that's the thing. So if you want this thing, right? Okay. Now let's go and I'll show you the description before we'll move to the software development cycle, right? So let me open this whiteboard, right? Uh, Let me open the pen. So let's first discuss what is DevOps, right? So before moving over to DevOps, let's check what is actually software development cycle. You got my point? Software development cycle. Okay, what were the facing challenges software development? Then they introduced DevOps concept into the software development cycle. Okay, before we understanding proceed further, what we will do it is that we will first check it out, the method which was followed before for the software development cycle, right? The first step what they used to follow the methods, right? Methodology they used to follow as waterfall methodology. Okay, waterfall, right? Waterfall methodology. Okay, you got my point. What do you mean by with the waterfall methodology, right? So for that case, if I go for the PPT, right? If you check it over here, you'll be able to find that there is a physical steps, few steps which will be followed before introduce of agile methodology. Okay, first what they used to do it in that if for example, right? Let's say we receive a SBI, right? SBI is an organization, banking organization, right? Let's go background behind that. Let's say in 2005, right? They were having offline, right? They were providing services in the offline. Offline in the sense you have to visit SBI, then you can proceed transactions like whatever the transfer, checkbook, like you withdrawing amount, creating new accounts and everything. Then the manager thought it's about, for example, they say that no, we will go for online one of the applications we will be creating for SBI, right? So what they thought, the manager thought that he will create a one application, right? CEO, sorry, the CEO who is the leading over there, they have decided that they will be creating one SBI online application, right? SBI online application. So first thing what they have decided is that, okay, fine, we will do what? We will take a consultation of a IT team, right? IT company, and we will decide what we required in our SBI app application, right? So what they will do it first, they will go for the IT company, right? In the IT company, what they will do it, they will take the consultation and they will create one SRS document, right? SRS document will contain details about of all of our of SBI application requirements. Okay, they will do requirement gathering of SBI app what they required, like login, right? Do require their login. Okay, they required login first step, right? So they required login. They required let's open the paint, right? So it will be very convenient. Okay, fine. So first what happened, as I mentioned that SBI decided to create a new application, right? New application banking. So then what they decided after that, so they decided that, okay, what we will do it, we will hire a new team. Okay, we'll hire a new team to create our application. So what they did, they consult they consulted the IT firm to create the application, right? So hope that fine. And what did with their collaboration, what they did is that they created some of this SRS document. That document contain all the requirements of their software. What should be there, what is required, right? Requirement of software. You got our point. After requirement of the software is clear, then afterwards, for example, what they have mentioned, they have created that we required login, right? We required transition. They can do online transition, right? Even new account creation. These are some of the features which they required from the new organization. Okay, from the new organization, from this whatever the application they required, with that application they want these steps. Okay, so what they did, they did everything. Then what they did, they gone for the IT company, right? They are consulting one more IT country to make their product from their from them, right? So at that point, this was the thought of the CEO, right? CEO thought about SBA application, SBA. Okay. After that, what they did, they thought us, okay, fine. What we will do, it, we will go and we will consult one software company, right? Let's say, for example, they are consulting one IT company which is creating applications, right? Which will be creating application. So they have passed all the documents, they have fixed with them, and they say that, okay, please create. So in order to proceed one company, what they required in this cells, right? That point we will discuss now. First step, what we required is that, whenever the organization is going over there and asking for one company, let's say, for example, in our use case, there's SBI, right? SBI is saying that please create our application. In this case, the points will be over here that you know oh, is that first what we have to do in our priority, we have to set the priorities, right? And then IT company will say that, okay, fine, we will deliver them fast. Okay, any client, they require their product as fast as possible. So if I say that this, I'll be ranking as a one, right? This is my first priority, right? I require faster delivery as the one. As an organization, IT company, what we have to do is we have to deliver the application as the first. The organization need is first is to be delivered. Whatever the application we are doing, we have to decrease your timeline, and we have to deliver to the client as soon as possible, right? And the second priority in this case, if we go, this is the first priority, right? So let's go to the, some of the example. If you go for in the history, then you'll find the Orkut, right? Orkut is application which same was, if some you don't have the information, this was before the Facebook. Okay, if you go and check it on the internet, you'll find the details. Facebook first was introduced by the Google, was for the Yahoo, I remember. Yahoo or Orkut, they introduced Orkut. Okay, it was the same like Facebook, but this was not a much sharing platform, not supported everything. So this was the fastest delivery, right? So fastest delivery, this was delivered first. They have developed this first, but the later came Facebook. So in this case will be failed. Okay, fine. If your fast delivery also, if you're not providing high quality, right? High quality of the product in the market, then that product will not sustain. In this case, what happened, we got that point is that this will be second, first will be always high quality, right? If you're taking some time, right, which is meaningful, then even you can claim the time from the client. Okay, then after that, as for the point why Facebook sustain is that the points, as I mentioned, that they have provided all the things like video uploading, video sharing platform, connecting multiple database was huge. They have collab everything, even in the later stage they started monetizing, as we are in the current stage. Okay, this are in or could not sustain, and uh, they have to exit from the market. Okay, so now everywhere you'll find the Facebook in terms of Orkut and Facebook comparison, right? So what we got from this, that if your application even is a faster delivery, always you have to go with the higher quality. Okay, so you have to be updated in the market, right? Always be updated in the market, then you have to upgrade your application. Okay. Second example, if I go to how we can say the organization needs is that if you go for the Paytm, right? If you go to the Paytm, if you remember, the Paytm was like during the demonetization in the India, it was boomed, right? So what they did online transactions. They was supporting the digital economy. They was a part of the government also, right? For the schemes and everything. They made online transaction using all the thing Paytm application. They introduced wallet, right? So you can transfer your amount easily from one account, Paytm account, to another Paytm account, right? And they started charging to for the withdrawal of Paytm to the account. If you want to transfer your payment wallet amount to the bank account, they was charging some amount like 2% or something, right? They was charging. This got their, what they got negative impact in the longer run. So what happened at the time? This was the fastest, right? If you check it over here, this was the fastest Paytm, right? Paytm was the first application which was introduced and was successful at the time. But in the current market, current of the stage, Paytm got declined. Now it's highly it's difficult to sustain the market. Even the share price got down for the Paytm. Why? Because phone pay or the different applications came, right? PhonePe and Google Pay applications came into the market. They say that okay, don't keep anything amount in the market in our wallet. Direct transfer from account to account, right? From account bank account to bank account, right? Okay, this was a drawback of this Paytm application. They fixed this version in their product. Okay, in their application. Then after they said we will not charge you anything. Do as many as your transactions, right? Then after government introduced UPA, then they say that okay, there is no charges, right? So at that time, the dependency of the wallet was completely eliminated from this. So all the traffic which was going up high, they started shifting to this kind of application. At the long term run, they were unable to sustain Paytm. Paytm got declined. Okay, so this was the issue of that. That what we learn from this conclusion is that even you were in the first in the market, fastest delivery in the market, but you are not providing high quality and you are not upgrading your application based on the customer need, then you will be facing consequences of your application in the future. Okay, so what we learn from here in the case is that you have to fast delivery first as an organization, right? Any organization, you have to maintain your quality of your product. You have to enhance your product always. Okay, so this we learn, and we have to spend lesser. Even these 2 points we already given. Okay, let's say for this case, even you're providing two options, and you want to make it less spending in the sense, let's say I have an app, right? Okay, one someone has one app, right? And that costing for us to buy for one organization, for example, as a SBI, I'm saying that is costing me let's say one let's say 1 million, right? 1 million amount, right? 1 million of amount. Okay, 1 million of amount. Instead of development, can I buy that app, right? So they will evaluate, no, I have a different users, right? Their IT team will evaluate that the client IP team will say that no, we have multiple units. This our amount, our expenses will go exceed to that. So while consultation of the IT company to develop their application, they will consider that what will be the difference of developing the app, okay, or acquiring any app, right? Right. If you come in the news, they will say that last of the company has been acquired by different organization, right? You got my point. Like WhatsApp was acquired by Facebook, right? So Twitter was acquired by Elon Musk. So this was the call. They will go for that always, right? The market capture and everything details gone. So let's say whenever they're going for the development, they will consume what are the expenses they're going to expend. So if within the budget, you have to be as an organization, IT organization, you have to be within the budget of this. Okay. So this point also clear, right? So they want to do it cost optimization, right? Always they will be go for cost optimization. So what we got in the point is that it should be fast delivery, right? Application should be fast delivery, right? The fast delivery, right? Then they have to maintain the quality of the application, quality of the application, okay? Uh, Cost optimization, cost optimize. This 3 point we have already discussed, right? So we want one more thing, always available, always in the sense high availability, right? So we have created SBI application as per our quoted response, right? So what we mean by that SBI, that should be accessible 24 into 7 by the client, right? So even if I want to do the transition in the late night, I should be able to do the transition. That means the application which we are creating, that should be scalable, right? It should be scalable, highly available, and multi-zone deployment. That means in case of any disaster, the traffic can be diverted behind the scene, right, from one zone to another zone. So these 4 parts, the organization always should have their core base when we are developing any softwares for any clients. Okay, so this point you got my clear, right? So fourth point is what we have is high availability, right? So these 4 parts, these 4 steps, every organization should have this. Okay, so whatever, when we are going to make application, we have to deliver to the client. First, what we have to do it, we have to deliver fast to them. We have to maintain the quality of our application. Then cost optimization, we have to minimize the cost as many as we can optimize without compromising these 3 effects. Okay, first, second, third should not be compromised. Then we have to go for the cost optimization. Okay, then we have to maintain the availability of our application 24 into 7. You got my point. These are the things what we have to do. Now let's go and understand. Let me save this file. Okay. Okay. Now let's go for another step, and we will create new slides, and I will create new. Okay. So now before moving ahead, now we found that what organization is required, right? What IT organization is required. Now let's go and check what's the model they were following before in the software development cycle, and what we have up now, what industry has been updated, right? First, when we're going to the software development cycle, the first step what we will the methodology which was used at the time, right, before, like, say 10 years or before 15 years back, they were using waterfall methodology. Okay, waterfall methods they were following. Okay, concepts, you can say waterfall methods are the concepts. Okay, so in this case what happened, waterfall methods concept, right, they were doing delivering the products, they were developing the products in the waterfall steps. Okay, so they were having creating the requirement analysis, like require storage document, they were designing the system, they were implementing, they were testing, they were deploying, they were maintaining. So everything step was going after completion of the previous step. Okay, first they used to do the requirement, they used to do it system design, then implementation, then testing, development, and maintenance. If any one of these steps was failed, then this was difficult to revert back to the first step. Okay, it was using a lot of time and the waste in the IT industry. So that's the reason this has been failed. Okay, the reason, let me show you that. Let's say let's go for example, right? So now in this waterfall methodology, what we will see is they will be having, any organization will having two teams, right? Do you agree with that? Yes, there is a two team. One is team is developers, right? Developers. Then other team is, right, developer team. Second team is operations, right? So let's check what they were doing, right? The second, the developer, afterwards they will be having like, let's say testing, right? They used to go for the testing, as I mentioned. The second thing, after developing the testing, then the QA guy, quality assurance guy, right, will assure the quality. Then in the operations, we used to have deploy step. Then we will have maintenance step over here. Then we have monitor. So if you check it here, there was a frequent changes. Okay, if you go for here, there was a one development team, right? Every organization used to have one development team, right? The second team, they used to have the operations teams, right? So now let's see what their responsibility in the IT team they hold, right? So in this case, what they used to do it, first developer used to write the code, right? What the responsibility of them is to write the code. Okay, developer used to write the code. Developer will write the code, then they will build the code using their building tool, right? Whatever the tool you're using, in case if you are going with the Java or any application, right? In this case, what they will do it, we will use the build steps, right? Okay. The builds tool, they will be, if you going for the Java, let's say Maven. Maven is a build tool, right? Testing, they will be using any application, right, based on the requirement. If you go for Selenium, right, let's say Selenium, right, or the test cases, whatever they require, right? JUnit is another one, right? So if you go over here, you're able to find that, this is for this, this is for this. Let's say this integrated with these two things, right? This is parallel to this, right? Okay. Then continuous, what we used to have, the developer used to write the code, right? As I mentioned before, developer used to write always the code over here. The method was used, right? After that, writing the code, they used to build this, right? They used to build this, right? The code developer used to build the use case like using the tool Maven build in the term of Java based application. If you're going with the Java based application, right? Java based application. Okay. Then afterwards, it was to goes to the testing team. Then it was goes to the testing team. They used to do the unit testing on the test cases and the security aspect. Then afterward, it was used to deliver to the operations teams. Okay, operations teams refer to. Let me just highlight these two things. Right, operations team, what they used to do, they used to go and deploy this application into the client environment. Okay, if you go for the client environment, there will be having two teams in the IT industry. Okay, first state there was let's say one was there on site, right? It's on site. That means the development team and everything is working from the client side, right? The client side. Okay, there is one more team that is offshore. The offshore is refers to office, right? Office or remote, which they are working from the organization, right? If you're IT company, let's say for the IIT company, you got my point. The first thing client side. So the all the team, the few team or all the team will be working on the client side. They will go and they'll work from this side. If the term is coming for the on-site, that you're referring that you're working from the client side itself. Okay, offshore. So what happened in the operations? There, the team used to go and deploy your our applications into the client side, right? In the client side servers. Okay, what are the server they were using? They used to go and deploy into the client side server. Okay, so in this point, right, used to deploy in the client side. Their servers used to go and deploy on the server. So at the time of the deployment, right? Okay, the deployment, if they face any issue, they what happen, they used to go and blame that the development team is not working fine, their code is not working in on the on premises, right? On the develop on the client side, it's not getting deployed. But the issue was that there's a two different teams, right? There is a one team is developer. Okay, second team is the operations, right? There's two different team and the grouping was within them, right? If you go for the previous way, right? Let's say there is a two different teams. Two different teams are working two parallelly, right? Let me just fix this. Okay. So now in this case, as I mentioned that this is a two teams, right? They are working parallelly, right? There was no interaction between these two teams. The issue was there owing with there is no collaboration between these two. And whenever the failure happened and with the application, the operation team used to blame the developers, and developer teams used to say that no, it's working in our organization. We were doing testing and everything. Please check out in your there is a failure of deployment on your server. There is issue with the resources or XYZ reason. So always there was going with the blame game. Okay, they was going with the blame game. So they used to blame this person, right? They used to blame this person. Uh, they used to blame them, right? And developers used to vice versa. They used to blame them. Okay. The reason they were fixing it, they were facing is the blame issues. So they were So after that, to fix these issues, what they did is that they started with the method of, as we mentioned that we were following the method, right? Let me just minimize this. So if you check it over here in the waterfall, what used to happen at the time of the failure, it has to revert back and go requirement analysis. So how difficult it was, right? If you're following with the waterfall methodology. Okay, waterfall methodology in the sense waterfall methodology was the first process model to be introduced. It was very simple to understand and use, but it was a traditional method. In this approach, as I mentioned, that all the software development was divided into different phases, and the outcome of the phase would impact the next phase. Okay, if this testing was completed, right, then it forward with the development. Then if this development failed, then we have to go completely back over here. Okay, there was not continuous integration, there was no continuous deployment in the stages. As I mentioned, that the work of implementation will start only after completion of development of your complete software, as I mentioned above. Okay, so first step what they used to do it at the time is that, in this format, it has to complete this first step, then only they'll go for the second step, then only they'll go for the third step. Okay, then it's possible to go for the first step, then you'll go for the fifth step. The time of developing the software was very like long way, so it was giving the impact on the products, right? So in the first step, what we have discussed, the requirement of the organization of IT industry was to deliver as quick as possible, right? So this was declining, right? So this waterfall, it has to go from here, it has to go from, in case of this failure, then it will revert back again for the required analysis, right? SRS document, what is it? So this was a failure. Then this overcome with the new methodology that called as agile methodology. Okay, as I mentioned, that it does not allow much reflection revisions. It was difficult to estimate the time, cost, and everything. Right? It was a poor model. Right? It was revert back by ophthalmology. The agile methodology in this happen. What the difference between this is that, they will divide this application into multiple sprints. Okay, let's say in the first sprint we will deliver the login page of our application. Okay, so the client can log in, can change his password, change his credential, change his address, change his information of the everything. Okay, we will deliver in the sprint 1. Sprint 2 we will deliver the account details. Like if you're going for SBI account, we will say that we will link banking details about this, right? Banking, so the client can go and do the transitions, right? Can do transitions in this only login. Okay, we will stream. After that, the third sprint, we will say that we will do every single thing in this application. Let's say creating account, new account, transition, logging, right? Logging of the application. Okay, creating FD, right? And the credit card and everything will be covering with this. So we will divide our application planning into multiple sprints. Okay, and we will deliver. First we will build this, and that will be delivered. We'll review, test, build, design, plan, right? From the planning stage, it will go completely, right? It will build, it will test, it review. Then if it's failure of anything, it will come revert back. So in this case, what happened, when we are breaking our application, that success will be high. Remember that we will deliver this, they'll go for the client, then we'll start working on the second sprint. Okay, if the bugs also coming up, one team will fix these bugs. Okay, second team will be working on the second one. As delivered, we will give a transition to the client, right? So the client, the client can able to log in, can do transition also. At the time we will plan this, we will design, we will build, and we will test, and we will deliver to the client. Okay, in the sense we will completely deliver application, right? Irrespective of any backlogs or everything. If anything backlogs come from the sprint 2, that can be handled in sprint 3. Okay, if any backlogs, some points are missed or sometime has failed, that will be fixed over here. So this was the methodology used currently, agile methodology. That means it's a fast methodology. Okay, which can be used, which is being used in the IT industry. That will break large project into small manageable chunks, such as iteration, and the end of the iteration, each general take place over consistent plan and role. As I mentioned, that we will plan, like in the plan will specify that in 1 month we are going to deliver the client login, right? And this feature will be enabled in this. At the time of the 1 month, you have to deliver this application to the client, right? And if you have any backlogs, you will be discussing with the client team, right? Client team, and we will be moved as a backlog to the sprint. So in the sprint, what happened? In this case, after the time has been complete, whatever the backlog is, that will be added here. So what you have to do it as IT team, you have to deliver this commitment, and you have to deliver this backlog also. So this methodology adapter will provide this kind of features. Okay. Okay. Now, if I go back over here, right, what we were discussing, if you check it over here, we are stuck with this point, right? So in this methodology, DevOps is plays a crucial role. DevOps is a part of Agile methodology. It does not represent any differ from anything. So it's a part of agile methodology, as I mentioned that. In this case, what happened, it will follow the agile methodology, and it will interact between these two guys, right? Different teams, to development team and development team, right? It will interact with these two different team, and we will say that, okay, fine, what we will do it is that we will collaborate. Let's go for this. So the organization, how they fix is that we will do the start the meeting before the day. Okay, whatever the scrum is there, right? Sprint, we have a sprint as a disc, right? Let's say our sprint is going on. In the sprint, we will make a meeting in the daily way. Let's say it's called a stand-up meeting, right? It's called stand-up meeting. In some organization, they will call it as a scrum meeting, right? Scrum meeting. So every day there'll be 1 hour for the stand-up, or 30 minutes based on the organization. 30 minutes minimum for the organization, right? They will decide that what you have done yesterday, you have to repeat. You have to give all the feedback. The manager will ask you what you have done yesterday. You have to say, sir, this we have fixed as per the our ticketing, right? In ticketing, if we are using Jira, for example, team, I have closed this ticket. I have worked on this. I have solved these issues. That is done. The manager will ask what you have done yesterday and what's your today's task. You have to say this task has been pending from my end, so I will work on this. Let's say this developer is working on Jira, right? On Jira, he is using the tickets and he is developing on login page, as we discussed. So he will say that I have fixed everything. I have deployed, I have delivered, I have testing everything. So I'm going to deliver this one, right, to the team, right? So this point we have cleared. Then the manager will ask, did anyone have any issues, right? So at the time that guy will come and will say that yes, there is some issue. There is some test cases is failing with the login, right? Let's say it's not taking correct password. With the wrong password also, the user right able to log into our application. That means that phasing our development. Then the client will the developer will say, okay, no, that's not working, this is not correct, right? What you're claiming, QA guy what I was claiming, he say no, it's working fine. And the time manager will say, okay, fine, you two guys, right, the development who was responsible, development team guys, you go and see, right, collab with the QA guy and see whatever the bugs he have faced and fix that bugs. Okay, this is the collaboration they have started with this. Okay, and afterward what they say, okay, fine, but this was the one case. Second said everything, say the QA said, okay, fine, sir, this is working, this login page is working. So now the development team, they say that, no sir, in the deployment it's not failing these issues. They say the version issue or the dependency issue, any kind of issue is coming up. So at that time the developer will say, no sir, it's failing over here. Then the manager will say, okay, fine, fix a one meeting, I'll be a part of this or I'll not be part of this. The manager will say, please go and fix it, I'll give a definite time as 1 day for you, okay, to fix the issue. So we will go and we will see, will the operations team guys will go and will collab with this and fix, and we will review back. Okay, and the next day, as is a daily starting meeting, they will come. The manager will ask what happened with the yesterday's issue. Then you have to feedback that, sir, we have collaborated with the development team and this operation team who were responsible. They will say that, okay, fine, sir, we have collaborated and we have fixed this issue. Okay, fix the issue, that is fine. So the manager said, okay, fine, please move your Jira ticket, whatever ticket was there to do or testing to done, right, is completed. So this task will be repeatedly going on. In this case, what happened, this developer whatever is working on, all the team of the software development team associated with this SBI, our SBI is a use case, right? SBI development team, all they have the insights that what the developer is working on, which features, and what's going on currently, what the issues they are facing, okay, how they fix in the some, let's say with some examples what they give in the meeting. So they will have overview. So at that time every team of this software development team of this application will have the overview what's going on in the company and what's the issues they are facing and they are fixing. So they are updated to the software what they are building developing, right, application. So this was the concept which they got, and they fixed everything. Now this is using in the current scenario, and this is providing you all the productivity, right? So whatever the issue is there, you have to raise in the meeting, or later or the day also, you can take the collaboration from the development team and you can fix it in the state. Okay. So this point you got how they fix these two issues, right? You got it point. Now the issue of the development, let's say. So at the time, what happened? The developer used to take the code, and he used to put the code in the Git, right? Git is a version control, so version control, right? Source code management, Git, right? Git, right? So whatever the code development has, as I mentioned before, he will push to the Git, so it will be stored over there, right? After that, we will use Maven, right? Maven is used, and we will do build, right? In the form of var or jar. It's executable files, okay? They will make it varchar based on the code of like programming language they are using in the Java, right? After that, the testing will be done, right? They'll be using Selenium to do manual or automation testing, right? Automation testing, right? Then afterwards, the developer used to do quality check, right? Quality check, they use test cases. They will go and check the test cases what they have done. Okay, so this parts was doing all the step manually. They used to take the Git, right, the GitHub the code, and they used to make it build and check it out, is there any issue facing to build our application in the form of var or no. Okay, and after that they used to go for the testing. After that, taking var jar and going and deploying into server, right, for example EC2 instance. Okay, so after deploying, they used to monitor, right, using the test case. In this case, this was taking a lot of efforts, right, and they was taking a lot of steps to go for the manual step, right. Whenever the code commit, one more commit came at the time, again they have to go for the next step, right. They have to go for the next step. They have to keep they have to make new build, right, new build, and they have to test this, right. After that testing, we have to deploy EC2 instance. After the EC2 instance, the testing goes down, right, the manual testing of this one and the testing of automation using this, right. Everything was a headache for the IT industry, right, and the IT industry to fix this all the issues. So what they came up with, this guy, one guy which is called as DevOps guy. Okay, DevOps engineer. DevOps engineer. DevOps engineers, what he did, what he said, okay, fine, I have a solution. I will do everything using automation. Okay. So what he say that, okay, you are what he say that, please, what you do that, you create a code, okay, keep in the Git. That's your headache. Okay, that's it. From there, the DevOps engineer will take the code and he will do the automation using the CI/CD tool Jenkins, right? Jenkins is a tool, right? So let's add this point also. Jenkins, right? One of the example is Jenkins, right? Jenkins is used, right? He said that developer DevOps guy came and he said that, okay, no, don't worry. Okay, what I will do it, you push the code into the GitHub. This is your headache. Just you push the code into the GitHub. Okay, developer push the code into developer. From there, I will do the automation. The Jenkins will pull the code from there. Okay, then Jenkins, what it will do it will build the code, right. He will first Jenkins we will configure Jenkins. DevOps engineer will configure the Jenkins. He will integrate the GitHub, right. Whenever the code is put, from there the Jenkins has to pull. Then afterwards, we will configure Maven inside the Jenkins, so it will execute, it will create the build files, right. the build of Maven dot word executable file dot war or jar file in terms of, right. Then after he'll add the automation of the Selenium, right. Then afterwards he'll say that okay, QA test cases, whatever the test cases is there, using the different Sonar Cube or different application, right. Let's say Sonar Cube is used in the over here. Sonar Cube, right. Sonar Cube will be used over here, right, for the testing test cases output and code quality check and everything, right. Then afterwards what we'll do, we will do it auto deployment into the servers. Okay, we will do the automation, everything. So whenever the code is pushed into the GitHub, automatically we will add the webhooks. So the code will be pushed to the Jenkins. From there, the all the steps what we have configured in the Jenkins pipeline all will be triggered. Then afterwards, if the we will add the post email notification. If the build is successful, then the mail will be received to the build developer, the manager, right, and the DevOps guy. Okay, these three guys will receive the email. Okay, right. Whenever they receive any build, they will receive the information, right. So whenever it's done, they will receive the information. So if in case of any failure of the build, right, in the deployment, it's related to the cloud and everything, they will receive an email that the build is failed. The developer will receive the email fail. They will receive the email fail. So developer will review that build console output and they will fix and they will push again the code. Okay. If we have 100 developers, let's say not 100, let's say that the developers are let's say 50 developers, right. Okay, and if you go for the 10 projects, for example, they have 10 projects. Okay, let's say 5 projects over here. So the development team will have one DevOps engineer, they will have developers, the testing, and the QA guy. Okay, now the current scenario, this everything, the development, maintenance, everything will be taken care of DevOps engineer itself. Okay, so in this case, how many deployments will be happen in the Git, right. Let's say even one developer push the code 2 times in a day, right. So let's say 10 2 times, right, is working on different engineer, right. Approximately we'll have 40 to 50, right. 40 to 50 push, right, within a day into the GitHub. GitHub is a source code manager where your all the code of your application will be resides. Okay, so the 40-50 times doing manually, it cannot be executed by anyone. So in this automation, every build will be executed, every output will be shared to the concerned persons, a developer, let's say develop technical manager or development senior developer guy, anyone who is responsible for in the application. Even the senior DevOps engineer will receive, the manager will receive, based on the hierarchy of the organization. Okay, so if the build is successful, they will face the okay, fine, this is passing in the dev environment, right. This everything will be happening in dev environment. So whatever we're referring to the development environment, right, this we will cover what are the environments will be having in the organization, right. So after the development is fixed, then we'll go for different environment, right. So then the code it push to the GitHub, the Jenkins will push, and what he will do it, he will push the code, and it will build as a Maven, right, as a Maven, and it will do all the test cases. Okay, test cases, and it will deploy to the EC2 instance. The notification, post notification will go all the team who have the subscription of the notification. Okay, this is how we made it as a automation, right. It was adopted by all the industry currently. In every development team there should be any one, at least one DevOps engineer. Okay, so for that case, so if you're curious that DevOps engineers guy will be job will be override by AI, no, it cannot be override. DevOps engineer will be there, uh, is now, will be future also. Okay, so it cannot be replaced. You may add additional tools, right, which are the advanced technology and methodology has been coming into IT market that can be adopted by DevOps engineer, that will be overlasting career of your DevOps engineer. Okay, and this DevOps engineer will be higher paid job in the IT industry because of the thing that they are taking responsibility of this operation team guys, team, deployment teams, maintenance team, and monitoring team. This all will be taken care of one guy, that is DevOps engineer. Okay, Even they are collaborating with the developer, and they are taking care, and they are making like giving the seminars, or making them knowledge of how to make the code clear, right? How to fix the bugs, right? How to check their quality of their code, okay? Vulnerability of the code, how to make your code secure. This all information will be shared to developers also as a knowledge base, okay? To enhance the knowledge. So in this case, developer, a DevOps engineer should have all the related information. Even the developers also will not be replaced by any AI tool or any tool, because developers will be there, is there, will be there always, okay? The no AI tool can replace the developer. Okay, don't worry about that. The developer will be replaced. The developer will not be replaced. Developer will update their knowledge or their skills with the AI. Okay, so developer will have the AI plus developer, right? They will increase their productivity using the AI tool. That's it. But you require the developer always. Okay, don't hesitate that AI tool will take care. AI cannot take care of everything, and I can suggest the code, but they cannot validate that code is usable by the team or the software. That's it. Okay, so this point is clear now. At that point you got is that why the DevOps engineer is required. Okay, in this case, if I check it by how they are going to use it, as I say that the software development cycle, we are using Agile methodology, as we have discussed today. So software development cycle using methodology, software Agile methodology. Before they were using water scale or waterfall methodology, right? Before they were using as I mentioned, that waterfall methodology. Now they are going with the Agile methodology. That's delivered frequently and consistent without any issues or something else. We will break the big project into multiple sprints, right? Break into part, we will achieve that, making the timeline for that. Addressing all the traditionally implementing software, complete automation in every stage of the software. As I said that we are providing complete automation solution to different stage, development stage, build stage, test case, and the deployment to different softwares. Okay, even we are using Ansible in this case, right? For the deployment, we are using Terraform, right? If I go for Ansible, okay, if you have 1,000 servers, we're using Ansible for use case. Okay, in deployment, we will be using Docker, Kubernetes, right? Kubernetes for the container deployment. If you're going for the maintenance, you can go for Grafana or CloudWatch, right? CloudWatch. So this we are using these tools to automate. In the test cases, as I mentioned, that we're using Selenium, right? We can go with the Maven, GitHub, right? Git in the operations, in the deployment, as I mentioned, right. In the operations also, as I mentioned, that we can use different tools, right? And what to automate that, we are using the scripting, that also you will be discussed in this course, right? We will cover this part. We will be using YAML, right? This is a big simple YAML language which we will be I'll be taking care how you can use using this automation, right? How you can achieve this automation using the scripting, right? So we can go with the Python scripting for the basic Python scripting, or YAML, right? Or shell scripting, right? Python, YAML, or shell script, shell or bash script. Okay. Using the script key, we can automate our steps of the execution, right? We can automate using the shell scripting or any kind of one kind of scripting, right? So this also we will cover up. This DevOps engineer should have the knowledge of using write the shell script, right? Automate your multiple tasks into shell script and execute the shell script. Okay. So what is a scripting? That means it's a collectivity or the package of the commands, right? That can execute continuously. Okay. So this is the basic thing what the script is required for that. Okay. We can use completely, as I mentioned, the Docker, everything in terms of security. As I mentioned, that we will be using SonarQube, Trevi, Opass, right? Here we are using Jenkins for everything, right? As I mentioned that now, if you go for the complete steps over here, you're able to find that, what we are doing, we are integrating everything with, we are integrating everything with the Jenkins, okay? This is also integrated with Jenkins. This also we will integrate with the Jenkins. This also will integrate with the Jenkins. This also will integrate with the Jenkins. Okay. This also will integrate with the Jenkins. Okay. And we will use Ansible. Sorry. We will use Ansible, right, to automate using deployments of this, right? Even in the Docker also we require YAML file, right? Because in the Docker we require to write the YAML files, right? YAML files to execute, to create your Docker images and Docker deployment, right? So this also we will cover up everything. So this is how DevOps engineers got into the market, and it's the highly demandable role in the market, right? So in the tutorial, in this course, we will cover all the aspects as we shared before. Also, let me add over here again what we are going to cover. As I mentioned that, uh, let me just open. Okay, we will cover the basic what software development cycle already we have covered. We'll go switch back to the complete next tutorial will be the AWS cloud, right? AWS cloud we will cover, and we will be using AWS hosting services. Then afterwards we will cover the Linux operating system. How, if you don't have anything written information about the Linux operating system, because all the application what we have discussed over there are developed on Linux operating system. Okay, so that in this case what we require the knowledge of Linux operating system, right? Linux operating, we will cover this part. Then afterwards, while communication we require networking also we will cover it. Okay, we'll cover this part, networking, right? Networking we will cover up, as I mentioned that, right? We will use AWS as a cloud provider, right? We'll use cloud provider AWS. As I mentioned before, right? We will go with the Git version. We will cover everything about the Git, how to make it Git, how you can make different branches strategy, how you can adopt best branching strategy. We'll go for the Docker stage, right? Docker deployment, and we will go for the Docker Hub. Okay, how you're going to integrate your Docker Hub account with your Jenkins, and how you're going to create and how you're going to log in. You'll master the Jenkins completely, right, into the depth knowledge. And this course already I have been shared with you all guys, and even this also will be covering up. Okay, using different, and we'll go for the Kubernetes integration tools, previous Grafana we will discuss. We will use go with the Ansible, right? With the multiple deployments. Okay. All the steps we'll be using, and we will completely will go to the master of this tools. Okay. Master of the tools. We will cover completely. We'll go into the deep and we'll cover everything. So, uh, join our course. Our course, as I mentioned, that it will be standing in the morning, 6 to 7. Okay, you can use the WhatsApp link which will be shared over here, and view. Use this tutorial for the reference and go for this and practices. Hopefully you'll learn everything from the scratch. Don't worry for anything. I'll be available to the complete to completion of this DevOps series. Okay, DevOps complete DevOps course. So don't forget, and see you tomorrow. Don't forget to join the join the live sessions. Okay, and if you have anything questions now, you can ask us. Okay.